Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. First of all, I'd like to thank the man for giving me this opportunity, and I applaud all of you in the audience for your valiant efforts to seeking to learn. I was raised in a supermax prison at a location I cannot disclose for possession of $20 worth of married juju. When I was released, I had a lot of difficulty assimilating to the new environment. I noticed that there was no one out there like me. Of course, I ended up getting into trouble and sent back to prison. Getting back into the system, I needed answers. That's when I discovered that I was the only Black person alive, and apparently the only person who can speak about the history of Black people. There isn't really much about us out there. The history books don't have much of any information. All I know is what the man provided for me, and I am so grateful. If I die today, Black people will be 100% extinct. So I've been commissioned here to share with you the history of how we operated in America before. I believe it is my duty. So, what is a Black person? Black person is a person. Otherwise known as a human or Homo sapien, or as most of you know, they lived on this very planet. And where do they come from? Contrary to popular belief, the history of Black people precedes the Barack Obama era. Some would argue our history begins in the 1990s with the rise of the hippity hop and the hit TV show The Family Matters, enough to crown the Prince of Bel-Air. But there were indeed Black people BC, before color. There is proof of that the Black people actually came from the African Ocean, the mother fish known as Oprah, to be exact. It wasn't until the massive meteorite full of melanin, that damn melanin, crashed into what was now known as Wakanda, affected the entire continent of Africa and ultimately the rest of the world. The impact that a meteorite changed the course of life on this planet. Radiation from meteorites spread, melanating every living organism. For those of you who don't know what melanin is, it's a compound that affects the pigmentation of skin. There are two forms. Theo. Melanin is responsible for the white, pinkish, reddish pigmentation found most commonly in the people of European descent. U, melanin, the purest and most dangerous form of melanin, also known as the black and brown compound, was found in ancient Egyptians, Ethiopians, Nigerians, African Americans, and Australian Aboriginals. The evolution of these Black and non-Black humans, people, marked the beginning of the new era, AD, after the meteorite. Now, EU melanin, or eumelanin, has varying effects. In males, and most commonly represented in the abnormally large penis. Or in females, it is noticeable in their childbearing hips, similar to the prosthetic hips that killed Kim Kardashian, a hero in the Black community. It also affects our athletic abilities. While it canceled the natural fish skills of swimming, we became predominant at pig-skilled skin hunting. Melanin also gave Black people natural defense mechanisms. For instance, the chemical reaction from touching any Black person's hair. It would make you explode. Or how we became indistinguishable. That's why I look like all the Black people some of you might have seen pictures of for 1,500 years. Africans made several technological advances, thinking others could benefit. 12.5 million of them traveled to the surrounding continents by the way of massive flying ships that could carry up to 600 niggas at a time. More than 10 million landed in the Americas, and Harriet Moses Tubman, a Black person with superior navigation skills, made herself 19 trips. The man calls this the Middle Passage. Once landed, the niggas went straight to work, finding the barren southern states could benefit the most. An agreement of labor was made. The following years of the civil working relationships in the South would help make America one of the most productive countries in the world. Black people helped to pick and gather material for tougher clothing, cotton. They quadrupled agriculture production. And they introduced a new standard of cooking that emphasized the use of different seasonings. We're gonna take a quick break just for some notes. Okay, hey, man, something don't feel right. You hear them out there? Yo, they laughing. Maybe there's some doubt. Maybe they doubt what I'm saying is true. And maybe I'm not the one to do this. Look, you need me. Without me, you can't recreate us. And even if I was trying to fuck with the lesson, it wouldn't have changed how they see me. I'm sorry, sir. I wasn't trying to challenge you. I'm just saying it just feels weird. Yes, I understand. This isn't for them. It's for me. I'm the only one who can do this. I will comply. 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 Sorry about that. Once again, I really would like to thank the man. I want to make sure that he knows how grateful I am to be here. Okay, so where were we? Cotton, agricultural seasonings. Yes. These accomplishments made it so the South could not function without the aid and labor of Black workers. When Black workers felt that they could migrate north to share these advantages, the Southern states became angry because it violated the agreement. They called themselves the Confederacy. The Northern states, in retaliation, called themselves the Union. And the arrangements between the two sides were so heated, it sparked a war. Niggas were the cause of the war of separation. 620,000 lives were lost in the battle from disease. The result was the Union and the 13th Amendment, which voided the agreement throughout the period of Reconstruction. The tensions from the war continued. State and local laws were passed to keep segregated, Black and non-Black people, nicknamed the Jim Crow laws, which condemned violence between two groups and coined the phrase separate but equal. Segregation was useful in keeping these tensions low, but it didn't last. Martin Luther King, a radical preacher, sought to end segregation and create a Black supremacist nation. His brainwashing powers worked on millions of people, evident in several organizational riots, the most significant being the Great Riot on Washington. The reach of MLK's control put niggas everywhere, and America lit a flame for radical movements all over the world. Black people continued to pollute minds by ways of fashion, sports, music, and all forms of entertainment, up until Barack Obama, the cloned result of MLK, elected president. Obama's election gave niggas the voice they needed to really take control. They installed fear and violence in several ways. The riots continued earning the title, the Black Lives Matter movement. Throughout Obama's massive presidency, rural Americans seemed to be the only ones able to see past the mind control. So they elected Donald Trump to make America great again. After Trump's successful run, then came the man. The man was able to unify Americans and later the world to one goal: get rid of Black people. He calls it the Black cleansing, but the man is confident that if I can share with you the truth, he can recreate us the proper way. Unfortunately, he was wrong. Whatever justification the man has been getting rid of Black people doesn't matter, because he was able to make America, the world, believe that we are a threat. Whether it's the majority culture or penis size, it won't be able to change your opinion of me. You don't care about my feelings. You never will. Because no amount of teaching science or history or politics will be able to convince you that I am human. The Black cleansing. More like the Black massacre, as I'm standing here right now. The last nigga on the planet tell me that I'm not a human. I will not comply. I am not your